Action.
Cut. Hi guys, my name's Captain Miller, Station 9A shift. Captain Norton's not here to go over the top of the truck right now, so I'm going to give him a hand. First things first, before we go up there, we've got our ladder well, and this is a kind of a hidden ladder that we're going to end up pulling out so that we can climb up top. When we go up there, one of the important things is we need to remember that we have 3 points of contact at all times going up. All right. This level up here is the aerial platform of the base of the ladder. If you notice, we've kind of got a walkway that goes right around here. This is for the access. We have 2 points of access with what they call the man savers here. They keep you from falling off with the railings, and these are movable railings. So we have access all the way through here. The base of the ladder where everything's secured at is right down here, and these are all the moving parts that go through it. This is over here is known as the pedestal, or the operator's pedestal. This is where we put our safety man. Whoever's operating this has total control over the ladder itself, and his main job is not just moving the ladder, but if there's somebody in the bucket, which you'll see in just a few minutes, he is keeping an eye out for any obstructions. Wires, we don't want to get too close to those because ladders and electricity wires don't match. Any telephone or light poles, telephone poles, trees, tree limbs, things like that. His job is complete safety of everything. All right, this section right over here, this is our pedestal. This is the operator's pedestal, and there's 2 areas that are pretty much exactly alike, have all the same controls. There's one down here and there's one in the bucket. Both can operate everything. However, the main point of this section here is whoever's standing here, he has control and he can stop everything. And he's looking for any safety, anything would be detrimental to the truck. Electrical wires and aluminum ladders and steel, metal ladders don't get along very well. So we want to stay away from those. We want to stay away from any light poles, trees, tree limbs, things like that. When they come over here, you can operate it. You can raise, retract, and extend the ladder, move it left and right. That's this section right here. Over on here, we have control of the nozzle, which you'll see when we get up in the bucket, which is for the master stream. Again, we can move it left, right, and up and down. Control the aerial itself with the speed, tracking lights, and the information center right here. We can look at this and make sure that all of our outriggers are down and planted. We can see at what angles we have the ladder at, how far we're extended, and know how much more we have to go. And we can also look and see how much water we're actually flowing if we're flowing water from these. Important button right here is an emergency stop button. There's 3 of them on this truck, and if any one of these are pushed, it will shut down all operations. You will not be able to move the ladder until we figure out which one's pushed and pull it back off. So when we say that this is a ladder truck, this is what we're actually looking at right here. This is 3 ladders stacked inside of each other. If you look here, this is a very wide ladder. This is the very base. It hooks down here. See the large pins that hook it in? We've got cylinders on the sides, which are a little tougher to see from where we're standing, but that's what actually lifts the ladder up and down. There's 2 other ladders on the inside of the big one, and with the cables and pulleys that this has, it allows us to extend it out. So it's not just a single ladder from the ground ladders that we have down below, but also these 3 ladders up here, all stacked on top of each other. And it's pretty amazing. Most of your ladders, when you put them up against your house, they flex a little bit. These are actually designed so when it goes out and it holds all the weight of the bucket, the ladder is supposed to bow a little bit down. It's supposed to do that, and it seemed a little weird that something so heavy would be designed to bow down, but that's exactly what it does. Just a little curiosity thing right here. We have what is a quick level indicator. So there's, when you ride it here right now, we're just above just above 0 at 0 to 10 degrees. So we're about 5 degrees because of the parking lot itself. But as we raise this up, the bubble or the marble is going to roll down here, and this will go up to about 80 degrees vertical. And coming off the rear of the truck, we can actually take it down to about 10 degrees in the negative. Okay, so now we're up on the actual aerial device itself. And we keep a couple things up here, not a whole lot because there's a lot of moving parts here. If you take a look down below us, you can actually see the 3 different sections of the ladder, which goes down. And when this is moving, when we're extending or moving this, we have nobody up here. The rule is if there's somebody on the ladder, this thing is not going to move. The reason for that is if we extend or retract and you happen to go through this, well, you're going to end up getting off this ladder with one less appendage. So anytime somebody's on this thing is not moving. And because it's high enough that we have a hard time getting equipment up and down, we keep a couple different things up here. The first thing we keep up here is a double-sided roof ladder, and by double-sided, it's got hooks on both sides, both the top and the bottom. So we're able to use this up on our roofs so we have some stability. The other thing that we can also use this for, and you'll see it when we get into the bucket, is what we call a parapet setup. So a lot of your businesses will have a false wall on the front or sides, and the actual roof is below that grade. Well, we can't actually go over it unless we put this on the device that you're going to see up there, and then we can drop down and climb down that ladder. It hooks right in. We keep it on the bucket all the time. We also keep one of our New York hooks up here for ventilation. That way, while we're carrying saws and things up here, we've automatically got this right here. We can just grab it as we go up and stick it in the bucket. And then lastly, we have a bin over here. We can keep additional tools and whatnot. What we do keep in here is a Stokes basket, which is a large basket that is about this size and shape of a full-grown adult, with some webbing and lashing. We keep it up here because it's kind of awkward to move around and bring up and down from the sides or from ground level. So it's easier to keep it up here if we need it. We also have access to it fairly quickly. And then we got some extra bins up here. Right now we're storing some tools for the hazmat responses, and also some squeegees in here. The question was asked is, how do you get this hole off? So basically we have a clamp right here, another clamp right here. It just slides off. Then we would carry it up to the bucket and just set it in there and take it up. And take it up with us. This is used for roof ventilation. When we go up, we want to, once we cut through the roof itself, we want to go ahead and punch through the ceiling, which is going to be down below the roof itself, and so we'll just reach down in there with that, punch some holes in the ceiling, and allow the smoke and heat to get out through the roof. Okay, now we're up in the bucket, and just like we had on our pedestal down there, there's an operator station up here. It has the exact same thing that we had down the pedestal. All the same levers, all the same switches, our emergency switch, our information panel, and here we're able to operate the bucket just like anybody down below. There's no difference in it. Well, there is one difference. Because we have, and we had talked about having our parapet and our Stokes basket, which we keep down here on the ladder. This is our parapet rig, and all we have to do is take this pin out, put the ladder through it, put the pin back in, and we can drop the roof ladder off the edge of this and actually go down below what the bucket is. This is also set up so we can put the Stokes basket up on here, secure it, and then bring somebody down should we have to do an elevated rescue and bring them off a roof or something. So we have that. Now if we put the Stokes basket up here, we wouldn't be able to get to the controls. So the one difference that this has that the pedestal doesn't is we can take the controls off and move it to either side, doesn't matter, and still have control of the apparatus while we're going up. There's a couple things. I'm going to go ahead and move this back. While we're in the bucket, everybody's required, once we go ahead and fire this up, everybody's required, they have to be belted in. So you have to wear a ladder safety belt and be buckled in. We've got secure points right here, here, and then two more right here. That whoever's up here, if you're in the bucket and we're flying this, you have to be secured in. That way nobody falls out. We've got a couple more bins up here. We keep our extra air hose in here. Now we do have air cylinders that we can breathe off of. Typically if we're up in the air and we're fighting a fire with this, as heat and smoke rise, we may be caught in the plume. So we keep some air hoses in here. We can hook in, breathe air through those bottles, and we're not reliant on our air packs. Our air packs, are only good for 45 minutes to an hour, and then we would have to climb back down, put another bottle on, climb back up. So with this, we've got very large air bottles, and we could spend hours up here just standing around with our masks on, breathing fresh air. That's what this is for. We also keep some spare ladder belts in here. And we've got another bin where we keep some additional hose. We've got 100 feet of 1 3/4, along with a regular combination nozzle that just sits in here in case we need it. Because on the very front of this, on the very front of the bucket, we've got our nozzle, but we're also pre-piped, so we're able to use this as a standpipe. So we can take water from there, what's coming up here, and hook hoses to it and pump water to whatever hose lines we have on top of the roof or a parking deck or anything like that. So we bring our own standpipe system with us. So we keep talking about some of the pre-piping and whatnot, and the deck gun, or the master stream, excuse me, the master stream on this. Now, because this is the bucket, there's two ways we can get to it. We can actually open up these doors, and they only swing in, so we would have to step out, and we can step out on the deck and have a little bit of access. However, everything's down here. We really don't want to be working off this if we don't have to. If we need to control some of the waterway access or waterway controls out here, we can always come down, and we've got a little hidden door trap. We just come down here, and from here we can manually control our nozzles by raising and lowering, turning left and right. We also got, I talked about bringing our own standpipe systems in. We've got them right here, and we can reach down and open those controls if we need be. We also have a lever here that we talked about, the parapet ladder. Once we drop that ladder over here on that pin, we would secure it up against the bucket with this friction latch over here. When he lifts this up, he's going to make this truck as level as he possibly can, both back and forth and side to side. That way we have a stable platform in order to fly off this. So we talked earlier about when we're down at the Pedestal, and up here that we have our information center. So if you come on over here, you can look. Right now I'm looking and see that our truck is at a 2.7 degree grade, both front and back, and then a 1.1 slope side to side. But I can tell all my outriggers are out because they're green and they're touching, so everything has contact on the bottom. That tells me we should have a stable platform in order to fly. If I come over and switch this, I get more information as far as the ladder itself, at what degree it's at, how much air we have in the bottles, how many gallons of water a minute we're flowing, which we're not flowing anything right now. Gives me some load charts, which tells me how much weight I can put on the ladder or the bucket itself. And also, you can get a little picture here of the truck. So the ladder itself is extended. We're not even extended at all. It's at 42 feet, and we're 14 feet off the ground. Now we will be able to bring this thing up to about, I want to say it's 97 feet off the ground. But we'll show you that as we go along. Tell them let's go for a ride.
Let's go for a ride.
Let's go for a ride. Like we talked about before, I'm up here. I've got controls right now. I'm watching where I'm going. I'm making sure we don't have any obstructions around us. Mr. Bentley is on the turntable. He's also watching for me, and all he has to do is press a button and he can talk to me. So right now, it's going to go a lot. It'll go up a lot faster.
We're going to switch it to fast.
We're actually at 103 feet because of the height of the truck itself, and we're extended 94 feet off this ladder. From this vantage point right here in Stockbridge, if you look out over my right shoulder, and we can actually swing around, bring the turntable around, and we can see Stone Mountain from here. So you should be able to see it coming into view here any second. That's Stone Mountain right over there, and just over that rise over there, you can start to see the city of Atlanta. So as you can see, it's pretty high up. We can get above just about any building here, except maybe the hospital. Wind, the main condition that we have to worry about is wind. Anything over 20 miles an hour, we don't fly. If it's too narrow that we can't get into something, we don't want to be anywhere near electrical lines. Like the lines that are out in front of the station out here, these are high tension lines. Because it's a metal ladder, we don't want to touch anything or get too close to it, so we're going to stay away from those as well. I'm going to just keep an eye on that rail on the right side as we come down. It should stop us, but if we get too close, holler. Alright, so this is the very front of the bucket, which when you're standing in it you really can't see, so that's why we have the remote controls. This is the master stream here, and typically when we have two different nozzles that we can put on here. This is a solid bore nozzle. I believe it's up to 2,000 gallons a minute, and then we also have a fog nozzle, which will go from fog to straight stream, and that one has some more wires that get hooked onto it. This one you can control left, right, up, and down. This is our standpipe system like we told you about. We can hook our 1 3/4 and our 2.5 in here, or 3-inch on those, and then move this around with the remote control there. So I'm going to step back in the bucket and you're going to be able to swing it out. I'll go ahead and swing it out and you'll see how we can do that.